everybody. Today we're going to learn about comparative relational thinking with subtraction. We learned about addition in another video. Today we're learning about subtraction. So what does that mean? We're thinking about subtraction. So let's put on our subtraction hats and answer these questions shouted out right at the video. Are these equations true or false? Hopefully you said false. 7 minus 1 is 6. 6 does not equal 8. True or false? Video, shout it out. I did 6 minus 4 in my head is 2. 7 minus 5 in my head is 2. 2 equals 2. It is true. That's how I knew it was true. Did you figure out a different way to see if it was true? Let's review. Fill in the blank. Ooh, tricky one. What did you get as the answer? Did you get 9? 10 minus 6 is 4. So something minus 5 is 4. 9 minus 5 is 4. $17 minus something equals 20 minus 5. What did you get? Did you get 2? 20 minus 5 is 15. So 17 minus what is 15? 17 minus 2 is 15. 12 minus 3. 15 minus what? Correct, that's 6. How did you solve the problem? All right. So we've reviewed some basic first grade math. But in 4th grade we use bigger numbers, but we're still going to review some little stuff, and we're going to learn how to do all this with bigger numbers in our head. So we want to think about, before we start, we want to think about all the different ways we learned how to subtract when we were little. We counted backwards. We thought about addition, we broke apart numbers, we added up, and we used friendly numbers. Friendly numbers are numbers that are easy to compute. That's all that a friendly number is, easy to compute. So we're going to dive deep into friendly numbers today, and why do they work? Let's think about an easy problem. 17 minus 8. That is a hard problem, right? Because we had to regroup or we can add up. Let's think about addition, or thinking addition first. 17 equals blank plus what? So I'm going to turn this into my fact family or related facts and goes 8 plus what equals 17. So I put my 17 and I have 8. 8 plus what equals 17. And I'm going to think addition and I'm counting up. And I have 9. There is 9 spots between the 8 and the 17. So 17 minus 8 is 9. I check it. 9 plus 8 is 17. But what if I did it a different way? What if I thought about adding the same value? What does that mean? It means I keep a constant difference. So I pretend there's an invisible rope in between these two dots, and they always have to stay in the same amount apart. They always have to stay 9 spaces apart. So what if I moved the 17 up to 20? What would happen to that 8? Where would it move? Let's look. I add 3 to the 17, it moves up to 20. Well, since it moved up to 20, what happened to the 8? It also moved 3 spots, and it moved it to 11. So now in my head, I could think 20 minus 11, and I know that math much easier than trying to regroup or count up. I could do that instantly in my head. 20 minus 11 is 9. So I can make a 10 going backwards. Does it always work? What if I wanted to move it the other way? So let's start back at 17 minus 8. Remember, there's this invisible rope right here that keeps them the same constant distance apart. What if we took away 7? So 17 minus 7 is 10. What do you think is going to happen to that 8? Let's see. That's right. We took away 7 from the 17. We also had to take away 7 from the 8. And can we do that math in our head really fast? 10 minus 1? Of course we can. That's 9. That's even easier than the other way. So we always want to think about friendly numbers and keeping this constant invisible distance. And no matter where we drag it on the number line, it's always the same distance, 9 apart. So let's think about how we could use this with bigger numbers. What would you do? Did you add or did you subtract? And what did you do to the other number? I like to subtract multiples of 10 because it's easier in my head because then I could always make 10s. So I added 4 to the 46. So 46 plus 4 is 50. But if I added it here, remember that's on that invisible rope, so if I add 4 to one part of my little number line, I have to add 4 to the other part of my number line. So I add 4 to 46, I need to add 4 to 27, and that equals 31. So now in my head I go 50 minus 31, which is 19, because I could easily make that a 9, 40 plus 10 more. So that's how we use it with numbers. Bigger numbers. You guys ready for bigger numbers? Let's try some true or falses. We're not solving these, don't want to know the difference. I just want to know, is this equation true or false? I use friendly numbers, but this time my friendly number is a number that matches. It's not going to go to a 10, I want it to match one of these sides. So I can either make the 67 match the 46, or the 18 match the 21. What do you think is going to be easier? That's right, adding 3 to the 18. So add 3 because 18 plus 3 is 21. And subtraction is on that invisible rope, so if I add 3 to one side of the rope, I have to add 3 to the other side. What do you think it's going to be? Add 3 to 67 is 70. Did they match? 70 plus 21, is that the same as 46 minus 21? No, they're not the same, so the equation is false, because they're not the same. But we can also use this knowledge that we have about a constant difference to find an unknown of big numbers. So right away, which number are you looking at? Good. I hope you said 467 because that's close to 480. And we're subtracting. So I know 3 more makes it 70. 1 more makes it 80. Right? Let's check it out. If we add 13, 7 plus 3 is 10, carry the 1. 1 plus 6 plus 1 is 8. So it's 480. So now the minus is matched. But I added this side, I added 13 to the side of my rope, so I have to add 13 to this side of my rope, my subtraction sign. And what is my number? 756. That is the missing number. Look how easy that was. Sometimes people make it even harder and you're like, no, this is easy. I got this. Even if the numbers are uber duper big. Ready? Go. Oops. Now we go. Big numbers, true or false? In your head. Pause it if you need to. Add 3 to make it 40. So if I added 3, I added 3 here. That would make 40. That would make 583. They match. That would be true. Hope you got that answer right. True or false? In your head, what did you do? I'm going to match the first one, 5,832, 5,845. So I need to subtract 3, gives me 2, and then subtract the 13, would give me that 32 that I'm looking at. So I subtracted 13 on this side of it, so I need to do it on both numbers on the same side of the equal sign. And I regroup, sorry about that, regroup a 10 into 12 ones, and then 7 tens minus 1 10 is 6, and I already know it doesn't match, so it is false. Now, find the missing number. Pause the video, figure it out. If you can do it in your head, awesome. This is 250, hope you unpaused. 250, I have 87, I subtract 7, because this is bigger, so I have to subtract. So I know that's 0, and now I need this to be a 50 here. So I need to subtract 3, because 8 minus 3 is 5. So I'm going to subtract 37 here, and I'm going to count up, because it's much easier for me. 3 more makes 40, plus 6 more, so that is a total of 9. 309 minus 250, so that has to be 309. I wonder, was that the strategy you used? Next one, do the bigger numbers. Pausing the video, and you're back. Well, this is 28,000, 342, 348. I only needed to add 6 to here to make it 8, so I add 6 to here. And I get 13 because I use my doubles plus 1, regroup to a 10. 54,573. Look, big numbers are not scary. It's the same easy strategy. So just to recap, on subtraction, we're going to do the same thing to both the numbers on the side of the equal sign. If it was addition, remember when we learned addition, we were finding a missing number on addition. We want to take away from one side and add it to the other. So in addition, we do the opposites. Because 7 plus 1 is 8. 24 minus 1 would be 23. So on addition, we do opposites, and on subtraction, we do the same operation. So that's just a quick review from addition and subtraction. Hope you understand how to find the missing number in your head super duper fast. Bye.